Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us again at Gunther's Kitchen. Today we're making an old classic beef stroganoff. It's basically beef. They used to do eye fillet, but eye fillet getting a bit pricey, so I used Scotch fillet. You can use porterhouse, you can use rump, you can use anything you like. It's just you use a higher quality cut, the more tender it is. If you use a low cut, you need to more or less stew it to get it soft. All right? So you need the beef, you need mushrooms. I've got 200 gram mushrooms here. I've got a small onion. I've got 2 cloves of garlic. I've got 200 gram of beef stock. Now this is salt-free beef stock. I got it out of a liter container, bought it at the supermarket, and just reduced it to 200 gram. And this will be cooking further down by the time we're going to serve it. You also need sour cream. You need a little bit of normal cream, which is not required, but I like to have a little bit of normal cream in it. You need mustard, Dijon mustard, about a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and you need 50 gram of butter. So what we're going to do is make the sauce first, put the sauce in a pot, and then we clean the frying pan so we don't make too much mess, and then we fry off the beef at the end. The beef has been out of the fridge for a while, so it's not too cold. We cut it into strips. You will see that, and then we fry it off, and we add it to the sauce at the end, and that's it. It doesn't have to sit in the sauce for too long. So the frying pan is nice and hot. I've put a little bit of oil in it. Now let's just add the butter. And when the butter is starting to get, just before it gets brown, we add the onions. So now it's time to add the onions. Important part is we need to fry the onions until they're more or less transparent. It's been about 3 minutes, so now let's add the mushrooms. And the garlic. Don't want to add the garlic too early, otherwise you're going to burn it. And then it gets bitter. It's a bit of a shame you can't smell. The smell, those Swiss brown mushrooms, is just sensational. A bit of garlic and the Swiss brown, it's just yum. So now, it's got enough color for my liking, so I just put a dash of red wine in. It's not required, but for me, a bit of red wine always gives it more body, especially sauces. So now we just let this cook until the red wine is basically gone. All the red wine has gone, as you can see. So now we're just topping it up with the beef stock. Beef stock is quite dark now because it has reduced by so much. Now we just bring this to the boil, and then we transfer it into that little pot. Let's do this. Put the pot on here, get the spatula, and we transfer everything into there. So now, give that frying pan a little wipe, and then we start the beef. Okay, so now we are adding the Worcestershire sauce. Doesn't take much Worcestershire sauce, just a few splashes. 2, 3, 4, done. And then we're adding, I put a little bit of water in the mustard. We're adding the mustard. Mustard is, it's really everyone's own taste. Some people like it more in mustard, some people hate the mustard. So leave it in, leave it out. It's all up to you. So now, it smells delicious. So this now basically is almost done. So now let's cut the steak. So basically I got 200 gram steaks. That will be enough for 3 people, I would say. So what I do is first we cut it down the middle. A sharp knife is essential for that. This is a little bit of fat on it. You can cut it off if you wish. you know, like that. Don't have to use it. Otherwise you can just cut it. And because we're gonna fry it really, really hot. Done. All right. And then we're gonna fry this off. We're not gonna put any salt on there. We don't wanna draw the water out of the meat. So it's gonna start boiling. We leave it on there, put a little bit of pepper on it, and that's it. So the frying pan has to be really hot. So you put the beef in, and you don't stir it. You just let it sit as is for it to catch color on one side, and then we're gonna move it. All right. So now, in the meantime, we're finishing the sauce. The sauce, we're gonna give it a decent shot of cream. Look at the beautiful color. So now we let it reduce. And then we just add the sour cream at the end. Now it has got color on one side. Now we can move it. Look, it's beautifully brown on one side already. Look at that. That's what you want. So we just cook it so it's like three quarters cooked. We don't want to overcook it. And then we put it back on the plate. Okay, so this is done enough for my liking. Now we take it out. Now we're gonna have a little bit of frying stuff in there, so give it a little bit of red wine. We just get this off, and we're gonna add that into our sauce because it's all flavor. So now we let the sauce reduce a little bit more before we add the sour cream. When we add the sour cream, we're turning it off. We're not letting it cook again. If you cook the sour cream, the sauce will separate. You get all those little specks in it. So it looks like it's separated. So it has reduced enough, as you can see. Now we're turning it down. We're adding sour cream. And we're adding 3 liberal tablespoonful. I've got a teaspoon, but that's the same amount. All right, so let's mix this through gently. As you can see, it's actually thickening up. As you can see, look, it's thickening. And now we're turning it off, and we're adding the beef. We don't have to do anything else now. We just let the beef sit in it. Okay, let's try and see if it needs salt or pepper, or if it's seasoned well. No salt, but a little bit pepper. Now, if you don't have the beef stock, which you can, like the one I bought from salt reduced one, just use a little bit of granulated beef stock. Yeah, but just use a little bit. Otherwise it will be way too salty. All right, now let's plate up. Made mashed potato. I'll give you a little hint, end of the video. Stick around and I'll show you a 10-minute mashed potato, a little trick. All right, so we've made nice mashed potato. We've got some broccolini and some asparagus. Now, and as always, it needs parsley on top. Now, in the olden days, they used to put julienne of gherkins on top. That was the classic way. But this is my beef stroganoff. Please have a go, follow the recipe, like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and share with your friends. And see you next time on YouTube at Gunther's Kitchen. Bye for now. I just want to show you a little trick how to make mashed potato quickly without stress and they turn out beautifully. So what I've done, I have peeled 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 5 potatoes. I've peeled 5 potatoes, cut them in half, put them on a plate. Now you can put them in, you can put a cover on it if you have got a microwave cover, or you can use cling film, which is microwave safe. And now we put them in the microwave. Okay, so it's been 8 minutes, and you just put your finger on it, and then you see if the potatoes fall apart. And you have to do it more or less on each potato, because you don't want any of them to be slightly hard, otherwise it will give you lumps. All right, so now carefully take the cling film or the glad wrap off, and then we put it in for 1 more minute for the steam to escape, all right, to dry them out a bit. They are floury potatoes, so they are perfect for mashed potatoes. Okay, so the minute is up. Let's take the potatoes, put them into the machine, ideally all into the machine. Then let's turn it on, and as always, we turn it on slow first. Now the important part now is they have to be all smooth before you put any liquid in or anything else in. All right, so just let it run for a minute. As you can see, the steam is coming out. They are red hot. Just let them run, not too much, otherwise they're gonna fly. And now they are all pureed. Now we're adding some butter. I prefer to add more butter than liquid, because I like the potatoes to be still quite firm when we put them on the plate. So then you can put sauce in it when you have got some saucy dish. All right. So it was about 100 gram butter, and we're adding, as always with potatoes, add some nutmeg. You don't need to add much, just a little bit. Not much coming out, that's fine. And then we're adding some salt. And that's it. And at the end, we're gonna thin it down a bit with cream. You can use hot milk if you like. I just use a little bit of cream to make the mashed potato a bit more creamy, but I don't like it to be too wet. I still like it to have a good consistency. Beautiful. As you can see, perfect, perfect, perfect mashed potato. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's a little hint how to make 10-minute mashed potatoes.